Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli.
Welcome. No, don't stop.
No. Award-winning. He got a Crackerjack.
Wait a second. John
Crackerjack box and got one of those awards.
John Taube he's on the screen with us right now. Hi, John. And hi, Lee Behren, Sterling Sports Auction. John, did you help us with Legendary Lumber, the book? Yes or no? I'm sorry. Try again, yes. John. Yes, you did, yes. Correct? Now, did
he got an award.
Did that book not win a gold medal, independent Ben Franklin Award? Yes or no?
Yes, it did.
Does that make us award-winning authors?
Well, I would assume if your name is on that book, you are an award-winning author.
I rest my case.
All right.
I rest my case. Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zapp, my paisan, Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli, who, by the way, this past weekend cost me an arm and a leg.
Well, listen, about time he strung for some food, and he had a sub sandwich this big. I'm telling you, I couldn't finish it all.
It was awesome. And who sprung for lunch, for dinner?
That's what I mean, yeah.
Well, no, that was lunch.
Yeah, lunch, but he strung for dinner, yeah. And then he fainted afterwards. I had to get him smelling salt.
You know, I got to tell you something. This is for disclosure purposes.
Yeah.
Elsie was not crazy about her plate, her dinner.
Well, she was a little disappointed, but...
he comped it.
No kidding. That's wonderful.
He comped it. So
that's nice. What'd you do, beg, cry?
No, I didn't say a word to him. What
did we do? Sign 3 balls,
the
right?
Chef, he signed 3. Rico signed 3 baseballs for the owner of the restaurant, and he comped us 1 plate and about 8 limoncellos.
Oh, limoncellos, yeah. They were good.
Yeah,
very
John, we took a couple of friends of yours out for dinner. And if you were here, we certainly would have taken you out. We took Brian Drent out and Joe Tomasulo out for dinner on Friday night because it was the Wilmington show. Now, if you would have been here, you would have certainly joined us.
And John, wait a second. This is an Italian restaurant, very well known, right? So somebody raviolis, another Italian dish. What do you think he orders? Chicken.
A half chicken.
A freaking half chicken. How could you do that?
I was in the mood for a half roasted chicken.
Come on, huh?
That's always the fallback plan.
It is, right?
Yeah, right.
The half roast chicken.
Can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with a half roasted chicken.
No, that's terrible.
All right, listen, we're gonna be all over the place today. Lee's gonna be with us for the first segment because John has some technical. It's amazing how Taube is the only guy, when he comes on, has technical problems every time he's on. What do you make of that?
Well, there's a factor there that's trying to keep him off because he's so good.
Is that what it is?
Yes. There's like I don't know the word.
But the fact that his computer is as old as him has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it. All right, listen. Lee, let's talk to you first. You're in the midst of an auction that ends when?
It ends on Thursday, November 7th.
Okay, which is tomorrow night.
So bid must be in by 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time to get into the extended bid.
You know, before we talk about some of the items, you guys do realize that as we're speaking right now, it's Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And we have a new president. However,
maybe
we don't know who the president is.
So,
we don't know who the president
is.
We're taping on Tuesday night, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So we
keep that in mind.
Right now, we don't know.
Right. All right. T206 Addy Joss, PSA 8.5. Nice card. Tell us about that card and tell us about, that's a great card. That is a great card.
Can you tell us? Go ahead.
It's just immaculate. I mean, it's just amazing. That,
Where'd he play? What era did he play?
Eddie Joss was a great pitcher.
Cleveland Indian. That technically he's got, I believe, the career lowest ERA, but because of the ERA stats didn't count.
Yeah.
He also died. He died very, very young.
Yes, at 31, and they had a benefit game.
Yeah.
I always thought it was interesting.
Hall
The
of
benefit.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. The benefit game, a bunch of the big name players at that time went to Cleveland to raise money for his family, and Ty Cobb
Nice.
is in the team photo, but he's in the Cleveland Indians uniform because his uniform didn't make it to Cleveland.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
I did not know that. Yeah, he was a good pitcher, very good pitcher. He had died from, I think, meningitis, if I recall.
I can't remember if it was. He was one of them.
31 years old.
Jesus, sad. But yeah, that's a card that the younger group wouldn't know about him very much.
You think?
No, but I'm just saying.
Really?
It's a vintage.
Yeah, real
card.
vintage.
It's great.
If you ask my son, you know what's weird? You met my grandson Johnny, right? I asked Johnny, and he's a big time. He's becoming a big time modern and ultra modern collector. Basketball and baseball,
Good
loves
kid,
it,
too.
and
He's-
football, right?
Yeah.
You know, he didn't know who Joe DiMaggio was.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, it was like,
not
Johnny,
surprised.
come on, man.
No, it's his players too. The players.
No
that are playing,
idea. 11 years
they
old.
They don't read
Not
books
interested.
and all that stuff about the older.
Just
the
not
players.
interested. Talk about Juan.
I probably wouldn't have known about Joe DiMaggio if he didn't do the Mr. Coffee ads.
That's right. See, another one, right?
That's true.
Right? And John, by the way, kick in here anytime you want. All right, you got some. You got a T205. You got a T206 Cobb with the red portrait. Tolstoy back.
Yeah, here's that, and then the tougher Tolstoy back that's very popular. What they call off backs, the backs that aren't Piedmont or Sweet Caparel.
Nice.
It seems though, Lee, that some of these cards that you have, this seems to be one of the better selections you've had in your auctions. I mean, you got some. Now that I'm looking at this, you've got some pretty cool stuff here, man.
Great stuff.
Yeah, you got a Unitas rookie card. You got a T205 Young. You got a Sanella Babe Ruth. Pretty cool stuff.
If people are looking for an inexpensive, attractive Babe Ruth card, this is the Sanella. This thing graded a 4, and I have no idea why it's a 4 and not something that's 7 or 8.
Really?
But they're really attractive. The other Ruth I have in the auction is a Frojoy.
Yeah.
Number 6, I believe there's
Nice
6.
card.
Jeez, look at that. Huh?
Hey,
Not all of them have an image of Babe Ruth on them, so.
John, this may be. I'm going to ask John a question. This may be a really dumb question because I have been known to ask a few dumb questions.
Oh, you said it.
Over
I
the years. PSA grades cards. You authenticate bats for PSA.
Yes.
Do you grade the bat or does PSA grade the bat?
We grade the bat.
You grade the bat also.
Yes.
See, I wasn't sure of that. That's good to know. Good to know.
Lee, all the stuff that you have, are they people consigners? I guess.
We have our own inventory as well as consignments. Yes.
You do. And Lee, how about you?
Too, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much 99% consignments.
Yeah. That's.
There's a
Did you ever? You had a what was it? An M1, an E90-2 or an M116 Wagner? Did you have one?
E90-2.
Now, did you? That's your card. Did you keep it or did you decide to sell it?
I sold it.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, it was in the.
It was in the auction, right? Jeez, it's
Yeah.
too bad I wanted that card.
A Brooks Robinson rookie card. Wow.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah,
50s.
Nice, solid. Basically 7.
Yeah.
Top.
Nice. Brooksy, boy, what a play. Oh, he was something.
Yeah, no, you've got some good stuff. You got a 61 Fleer Russell, not bad.
Yeah, it's the in-action one, the back end card, not the full one. But yeah, that one it always draws attention. Anything Bill Russell.
How many lots in the auction?
580 lots in the auction, so that's I usually tend to get between 400 and 600, and sometimes more if it rolls in there. And
Good for you.
That's great.
just kind of keep it consistent. This is another item that came in that was kind of cool. It's the 1968 Topps Superstars with Mays, Killebrew, and Mantle, and they're all autographed.
They're all signed. Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
It did get authenticated by JSA. The Willie Mays on there was signed by a secretary.
Oh, was it?
Sadly, yeah, that's why it wasn't done because PSA altered or anything.
Hey,
But
John,
yeah,
I want to ask John a question.
Yeah.
With autographed bats, again, you grade the bat, you authenticate the bat. Do you authenticate the signature on the bat?
No, we take a neutral position with the autograph. We leave that to the autograph experts.
So someone like Kevin will do that, or one of those.
Exactly. And also, PSA generally does not acknowledge the authenticity of a signature unless they look at it themselves.
I did not know that. Good to know.
Yeah.
So do you ever question the signature on a bat?
Oh, if I have any qualms, about the signature that comes in here, I mean, I'm not the autograph expert.
Right.
But they're, with notable players, you have a pretty good idea what the signature looks like. I will fire off digital imagery to the experts and, get their opinion before we move forward with the authentication.
Mm-hmm. Lee, you don't get into memorabilia at all? Not too much?
Not a whole lot of it. Part of it is because a lot of it's such odd shaped, and it takes a lot more time to pack, ship, and move it around, and even how to describe the stuff. Publications are one thing that I really struggle with. I mean, because I can see where people want, is the staple rusty? Is it, I just don't know personally how to describe it all, and it can be so much detail. You're putting so much time into.
I really have gotten into memorabilia. I've totally switched my, what I like collecting. Yeah. I mean, I've gotten rid of pretty much.
Now with hockey season here, you got a Gretzky, and I say hockey because Minnesota's a big hockey area too, right? The schools.
Yeah. The Gretzky set I have in there, the rookie card is immaculate. We sent it off and thinking it, between a 7 and a 9.
Yeah.
And it came back that lovely grade minimum size requirement not met.
Well, if it's all right, I don't know if we should do this on air, but I just want to bid $150 for that. Am I in the ballpark?
Yeah, don't open up your shirt.
We started at $400, so you need to step your game up.
Yeah, don't open your shirt. Your heart might fall out.
Hey, what is
We
that
had chatting with Lee Behren from Sterling Sports Auctions, John Taube from JT Sports. John, with all due respect, and Lee, you can jump in here anytime.
With all, what do you say, respect?
With all due respect.
No, I know what he's going to ask you. No, it's not all it's disrespect.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I really tried hard to stay neutral in the World Series between the Yankees and the Dodgers. However, that didn't happen. And by the way, I got blasted. I happened to post, John, I think you saw the post I made.
Oh yeah, I saw.
All I did was compare Yankee championships in this century. No, New York championships in this century with Boston championships in this century.
Sure.
Because we're 25 years now into the century, a quarter of the way into the new century. And after I did all the math and spent hours researching, we have 11 championships in Boston since the turn of this century, and New York only seems to have 4.
You mean all sports?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sports.
Well,
Yeah,
let's.
so-
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know what that indicates,
Well, the
other
Yankees,
than it seems as though a lot of Yankee fans are dwelling in the past century.
John, I was shocked as everybody else, every Yankee fan was shocked at that inning.
The fifth
with the
inning.
3. Jeez.
Well, I'm a diehard Yankee fan.
Oh, yeah, right.
People, you always are told not to dwell on the past, but that's all we have.
Well, that's true, yeah.
It's
but,
too bad. I mean, all kidding aside, and listen, we tease, so we all tease, but that inning really was something that you see in a Little League team. It really is. I mean, between the pitcher's meltdown and the bonehead Judge play.
Yeah, if you see that close up, the ball was coming in, and he went like this.
Yeah.
He was looking at the runner, and it hits off the
Did that ever happen to you?
No, I was perfect.
That can happen. But what was inexcusable was Cole not covering first.
I totally agree with that.
That was what opened up the floodgate after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had to get right over there because the runner,
He stopped.
Mookie Betts.
Yeah, but he stopped,
Exactly.
Rico.
Yeah, I know. He said he didn't think he could get there in time. That Rizzo should have. Was
it Rizzo? Who was that?
Yeah, Rizzo thought he was going to make it.
Well, I think Rizzo was astonished that he didn't see Cole covering the
I
bag.
agree.
That's what happened there.
Yeah.
But, Lee, again, jump in here because I know you're a fan, but, Aaron Boone, it's just, to me, I just don't think he's that strong. I mean, the guy makes a lot of mistakes.
Yes.
We'll trade you,
How could you blame him for that?
I'm talking about just overall, over the course of the series.
The biggest mistake he made was when was the first game when he brought in instead of King. King was the sidearm, tough.
Exactly.
It was tough. He brings in the other kid who
Cortez.
Oh, that's right.
who hadn't pitched for I don't know how long, and he throws the ball right there. I mean, bang.
Exactly. He throws it low and inside, right where a lefty loves it.
Yeah.
And bingo.
I give Freeman, he's always been a great hitter, but well, that to me was the mistake that was obvious.
John, any chance you can get your hands on a Freddie Freeman bat?
Oh, sure.
I mean, even a gamer now. I'm not talking about his Grand Slam bat, but a Freddie Freeman gamer right now. How much has it increased in value, percentage-wise?
Well, right now, if you have a nice Freddie Freeman, I'll bet you can get $3,000 to $4,000 for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
How about his card, Lee?
That's a good question.
Because
I don't do much modern, so I don't follow that market. I couldn't even tell you what.
Okay.
I would think that that would go up in value, but not. I mean, go up and then down.
Right.
A spike.
Right.
It would spike.
Well, wait a minute.
Like when a player
this guy's
dies.
a Hall of Famer.
Oh, he is.
This guy's been a great hitter his whole career.
I love him. I've always loved Freddie Freeman. I've always loved Freddie.
I like Freddie Freeman too.
Yeah, he's
a great guy too.
Yeah.
All right. So Lee, when does the auction take place?
It's Thursday, November 7th.
Yeah.
Initial bidding will be in by 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once you get into extended bidding, the whole auction is open. So all you need to do is get one bid in before the.
Can you explain before we let you go? Can you explain what the extended bidding actually means? Because a lot of people get confused with that.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of auctions are different. The way mine is run is once you get to extended bidding, the 15-minute rule applies. And it applies to the whole auction for Sterling. So all the items have to not have a bid for 15 minutes before it closes.
So theoretically, that auction could go on for hours and hours after the extended bidding, correct?
Usually what happens, and I have kind of a fail-safe in there, that at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I now have reserved the right to close the auction.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Usually what I do is I'll give a fair warning email out to everybody to let them know that, hey, we're in this mode, get your max bid in. And then I usually watch the auction to see where the bidding is. If it stays strong, I leave it alone.
It's funny. The reason I'm asking, because I recently had a piece in an auction, and I stayed up, and the bidding ended at I think 9 o'clock, and I was not happy with the item that I had in the auction. I says, oh, man. And it ended at 9, and then there was extended bidding. And the extended bidding, I waited 15, I waited about another hour and watched it, and there was no movement on the piece at all. So I said, I'm going to bed. I know the auction is going to continue. Mm-hmm. But I got to tell you something. I woke up that morning, 7 o'clock, there was another $4,000 bid on that item. At 3 o'clock in the morning, someone put a bid in, and then at 3:30, somebody else put a bid in. It was like crazy. So I was happy.
Once somebody gets in there and they've got the bid locked or whatever, and you have people that'll wait around and just watch it, and if somebody bids, then they're jumping back in.
That's how it works.
And so that fires it up and gets it going. But generally, my auctions don't close any later than 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's usually be right around the 1:30 a.m.
All right. All right, Lee. Good luck, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Take care, Lee.
It's good. Thanks, guys.
Take care. Lee Behren from Sterling Sports Auction. We're going to take a quick break. Mr. Taube's in with us for the rest of the hour.
Well,
and we may have a surprise guest, an old teammate of yours, maybe.
Well, don't say anything. Maybe.
I said maybe, because he's having some technical problems, but we'll see. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, my favorite part of the show, a Gax blast from the past.
Oh, boy, I can't wait.
Hang in there. We'll be right back.
A two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
For more than 30 years, Robert Edward Auctions has been the industry leader when it comes to helping you realize the most money for your baseball cards and sports memorabilia. In addition to their unparalleled reputation for honesty and integrity, they reach the largest number of bidders in the business and offer lower seller's fees, as well as generous cash advances up front on your valuable material. Contact them today at 908-226-9900. That's 908-226-9900 or at robertedwardauction.com.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectables Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Well, look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back, and our good friend John Taube is in the house from JT Sports. Rico Petrocelli, Red Sox Hall of Famer. Tom Zappler, award-winning. No, I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. It is time now, and John's going to be with us now for the rest of the show. So we're going to be all over the place. So right now, it is time for a GAX Blast from the Past, brought to us each week by our good friend Paul Borges and PB Collectables, your neighborhood card shop. Go to pbcollectables.com to find that special card or piece of memorabilia. With all due respect to Paul Borges, he was supposed to have a couple of PB Collectible hats for us at the Wilmington show.
Yeah, that was like
he stiffed us
years ago. Was it Panini or something? He was going to send us sweatshirts, hats.
They stiffed us.
They never did.
They all stiff us.
I know.
All right. Since we're on the subject, and John, I know you're not going to be able to see this until tomorrow night till it airs. You can hear it, though, but it's really nothing to air here. But since we're talking about the Yankees, this is a little snippet that I picked out that this was the theme. This was the theme for the entire Yankee World Series.
Here we go.
And I titled it, "Not All Yankee Fans Are Created Equal. Some Really Suck."
Wow.
This is these two clowns that tried to steal Mookie Betts' glove. But this is a close-up. Check this out, Rick.
Yeah.
This is a close-up.
That was... Yeah, look at it.
So an out.
We're going to run it.
One gone this first. It's the second time that Liberatores has hit a ball.
All right, we'll run it one more time because you're going to look at this moron.
That was terrible.
John, this is like a real close-up, and you'll see it. This guy.
Oh, no. Yeah.
They're going to say that it's an out and fan interference. So an out. One gone in this first. It's the second time that Liberatores has hit a ball.
John, that is amazing.
They gave each other the high five.
I know.
They were proud of that.
I mean, the guy is literally, he's opening up Mookie's glove, opening up and reaching into the glove to pull the ball out.
Right.
I just
could have broke his wrist.
I've never seen that.
Broke his wrist.
Now, you know what the sad part about that is? I'll bet you those two guys make a few bucks out of this somehow.
They're probably banned from Yankee Stadium.
They are.
Are they really?
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that. But
we were in the museum and we were talking, with the curator there. And, in a case like that, they're escorted out of the ballpark at that point.
Yeah.
I think they're banned from future games too.
That's what I heard too.
John,
But,
you were there for Game 5, right?
But
Game 5.
He was there for Game 5.
yeah, I know. He told me earlier. But you know the rule, right? If the ball is in the stands,
Yes.
then
Breaks the plane. Yeah.
breaks the plane, right? Then it's
a home run.
no, it's the fans can grab it.
I
you
see
know.
what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
But I don't know how close this was, but he had the ball in his glove, so it didn't matter.
I've
It's
never
an out.
seen anything like that.
Me either.
before.
I have never
Crazy,
seen
yeah,
something like that.
me
That's a
either.
first. That's a first.
Not like that. I mean, the one in Chicago, remember years ago, when that poor kid was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was the World
crucified.
Series. Yeah, the
Yeah.
bat ball, whatever it's called.
Or how about Jeffrey Mayer?
Yeah,
that's
that's
another
another
one,
one.
yeah.
Oh, that was so obvious.
Yeah. Rico, did anything like that when you played? Did anything crazy like that? Did you ever see anything crazy with fans or?
Yeah, I was involved with one.
Tell us.
Yeah, well, Fenway years ago used to have Nuns Day. And in the left field, I swear,
Day?
Nuns?
nuns, yeah,
All nuns.
all nuns in left field with the habits. It was like, it was unbelievable. So I'm at shortstop at this time. A pop-up, right? Going towards the stands, so it would be an easier play for me. So I'm running, and it was in the stands. It was in. And I went to grab it, and one of the nuns gave me a headlock. I swear. A headlock, and she says, "Son, this is our territory." I'll never forget it. Sister, what are you doing? Oh, God.
This is our
Unbelievable.
territory. That is hysterical. Oh, God. Hey, John, I wanted to talk about photo matching a little bit because photo matching, I would think, has made your life a lot easier, when it comes to authenticating bats, or has it made it more difficult?
Well, in the perfect sense, if something comes in and it's already been authenticated, or I should say photo matched, then the authentication process is fairly easy.
Right.
But when something comes into the office and then we're asked to look at it for the possibility of photo matching it, now you're talking about time involvement, especially when you get into vintage material.
Yeah.
You could be scattergunning, 500, 600, 700 photographs, just to find something. And it's, it makes it time consuming. That's the area of opportunity with photo.
Now, do you do that or do you sub that out?
Well, we do it on request. But then if we're asked to document it, PSA has now opened up a separate photo match division.
Oh,
And we're doing authenticating, and then PSA is actually doing the matching itself.
What's the most?
They wanted to get involved in the space.
Oh, yeah, that's good. What's the most valuable, not money-wise, but bat in the industry, let's say?
That he has?
No,
or
no,
just
no, that
exists?
exists.
Oh, I know that one. Let me guess.
Wait a minute, will you?
Can we guess? What do you
have a
think?
guess.
He knows.
I
Tell you what,
He knows.
Mickey Mandel?
You guys guess.
Mendel.
I'll tell you if you're right.
I say the
Ty Cobb?
no. I say the Smokey Joe, the Shoeless Joe bat, Black Betsy. What do
No.
you say?
I'll say a Babe Ruth bat.
No. What?
Babe Ruth, 1927. Or the one he hit in Chicago.
All right.
Well, the called shot bat has yet to surface.
Oh, so we don't know.
And, Ruth was a prolific gifter of his bats.
Yeah.
They say he had a bin of bats in his apartment. So, what I think, my theory is, a cold shot bat was in that bin or was in the clubhouse. Somebody was given that bat, and they have it if it still exists, and they're unaware it's the cold shot bat.
Oh my God. What about the Black Betsy?
The Joe Jackson?
Yeah.
The Joe Jackson, that's a heralded, that's a classic piece within the hobby, recently sold for over $2 million. But as far as the, the value of that bat is concerned against other bats, there have been a few that have sold over and above that number privately.
So what, in your estimation, is the Mona Lisa of bats?
Well, I'm going to give you a bat that I love. I mean, I have in my safe right now. I've got a Ruth bat in there that we're looking at with home run notches in it. I mean,
Wow.
that is
incredible.
baseball. That is Ruth. But also classic bats. Ty Cobb.
What about Mantle? What about Mantle, John?
Well, Mickey in the 50s, the 50s Mantle bats are rather generic. It's pre-pine tar.
Yeah.
People really, the bats that really are, eye appealing are the ones from the early 60s, even the mid 60s, where he's, using pine tar.
Yeah.
And there's a great bat in the Yankee Museum right now, the 64 World Series bat of Mantle's, that he is photo matched to him, the Game 3 home run off Barney Schultz.
Yeah.
And also he used it to establish and break the World Series home run record, set by Ruth.
John, what about bats that belong to guys like Nap Lajoie, Wee Willie Keeler, that level of player?
Well, that level of player is you're starting to get into a specialized area. And there's the actual pop of collectors who are gravitate towards that area, is diminishing right now because, it's generally the older collector.
Yeah.
But Lajoie is an extremely rare bat. I would like to see what that would bring at auction today. You throw Honus Wagner into that mix too.
Wow.
They're great bats, and they're the Wagner bats are very expensive, probably more so than the Lajoies.
Yeah. Wow.
We are chatting with
Bat guy.
John, go ahead, ask.
No, I just say, I'm thinking Ted Williams, even Pete Rose. I mean,
Ted Williams is the most undervalued bat in the hobby.
yeah. And guess who has one?
You have one?
Signed.
Do you?
Yeah.
Not a gamer. A game used?
Oh, no. Oh, it's nothing then, right?
Well, I mean, it's not game used. Why don't you have a game used Ted Williams bat? You were with the guy for years.
He didn't give his bats away. What are you kidding me? You know
And
what
player to player was generally a new bat anyway.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, that's right.
Generally, that's what we see.
Did he sign it?
Billy Canigliaro said when he was with Oakland, if you broke a bat, in order to get a new one, you had to bring it in, and they'd give you another one. That was Finley. Finley said,
No way.
It's the way you get a new bat.
God almighty. John, what about bats? I mean, I know these are very specialized, but have you ever stumbled upon a bat that was used by, I don't know, King Kelly, for instance, or one of those guys from the old Judge era?
One King Kelly bat.
Really?
Yeah. King Kelly, if my memory serves me correctly, it might have been post-professional career, like 1 or 2 years afterwards. But, when he was barnstorming or minor league, independent league.
Yeah.
But I've seen one King Kelly bat is in the database.
And is that belong to a private owner?
Yes.
Really?
It would seem to me that it would be tough to get bats.
From that era?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
During that time period, there are no player names on the bats. So you're depending solely on provenance.
Yes, okay.
That's a good point.
That accompanies the bat.
Yeah. You want to take a break? Oh, no, okay. I thought she was giving me hand signals.
I thought we had another guest, but they're gone again. Oh, they're here again.
Is he here?
Back and forth.
Our guest?
After the break.
We'll take our guest. We have your friend that's going to be joining us, I think. Jimmy Gosger. Jimmy Gosger and Rico were teammates years ago. And Jimmy he's doing a wonderful thing that we want to talk about, John, for St. Jude's Hospital. And Jimmy was a hell of an outfielder.
Oh, excellent outfielder. Hustle guy with, like Pete Rose, run down the first base, run out to his position, and clutch hitter, and a great outfielder.
All right. Here's what we're going to do. Let's take a break now. We're going to come back with On Deck with Rico. We don't, no guarantees with Jimmy because Jimmy. And the reason being is because Jimmy's he's like you and Mr. Taube.
Me?
Yeah, absolutely no knowledge of computers. Zero.
I went to computer school.
I'm just making a statement. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Hopefully, Jimmy will be with us. Hang in. We'll be right back.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
With record-breaking sales from everything from the white border T206 Honus Wagner for $3.12 million to some great items that support the Jackie Robinson Foundation, Golden Auctions has set the highest standards for the finest in sports cards, autographs, and game-used memorabilia. We're always accepting consignments of high-end premium sports treasures or entire collections. Please register for our next auction and bid now at goldenauctions.com. That's golden with an I. We at Golden Auctions are committed to providing unsurpassed customer service for the discriminating collector. That's exactly why we're the leader in the industry. Visit goldenauctions.com or call 856-767-8550. Remember, Golden Auctions. We don't just break records, we shatter them.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on the tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
Yeah, check him out at petrosellimkt.com. They have thousands of items there and do embroidery, and they do screen printing, and he does because, he's got to take care of his father.
Do they have baseball hats?
Yes, they have hats.
Like nice ones?
Everything. Yeah, we have everything.
Is that one you have on right now?
Yeah.
How come I don't have one?
Well,
how come John doesn't have one?
Well, I'll get you some.
You know something? You are so cheap. You squeak when you walk.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Right? That's all I'm saying.
Don't believe that.
You squeak. All right, listen. Obviously, Jimmy is not with us. Jimmy Gosger. We're having some technical issues. However, we will have Jimmy on probably next week. I didn't realize that he doesn't have a camera on his computer because,
he's got one like John Taube?
Like Taube and like Petroselli.
What do you mean?
He's got a computer that was invented by Thomas Edison. But anyway, we'll get him on next week. I'm sure Jimmy can hear us, but let's continue on. It is time right now for our segment, On Deck with Rico. Brought to you each week by a good friend, Brian Dwyer, and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service. Yes. Now, John, again, you can chip in here if you want. This was a question submitted by Johnny Sikora.
Johnny Sikora. The name sounds familiar.
That's my grandson.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he asked him this question. Taking the Hall of Famers like Gibson, Ryan, and those guys out of the equation, who were some of the more difficult non-Hall of Famers that you faced?
Too many to...
Give me 3 or 4.
If I can remember.
Non-Hall of Famers.
Not Hall of Famers. What's his name? Darn it.
Who did he play for?
Minnesota and
Dean Chance.
Dean Chance.
I can help you out with
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't remember all the names.
He was tough?
Dean Chance was tough, yeah. The knuckleballer.
Elroy Face? Hoyt Wilhelm.
No, I didn't pay. Hoyt Wilhelm was tough.
Isn't he in the Hall of Fame?
No.
I thought he was. Is it?
Yeah, I mean, he might be.
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
I think he is. Hoyt Wilhelm.
John?
He is.
I'm checking.
I think he is.
Yeah. Just see. Cleveland, they got the Angels. What other team?
Can I throw some names out?
Wait a second. Oh, he's a Hall of Fame.
He is in the Hall of Fame.
All right, so he doesn't count.
Okay.
How about Sam McDowell?
Definitely. Tough. That whole Cleveland staff. I faced Louis Tiant and when he was with Cleveland, and he was tough.
By the way,
Denny McClain?
McClain, good, thanks. Yeah, and Lolich. Lolich had a great slider that would just crush your bat.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, he was a hell of pitcher.
What about guys like
others,
guys like Mike Cuellar?
Yeah, he was tough, but I hit him pretty good. Him and McNally. But let's see what other.
I mean, there was some good.
There were a bunch. I mean,
who was the guy?
Tough.
I don't know. John, you may be able to answer this. He was a really good pitcher, and he played for the Washington Senators for years, and they were awful.
Yeah.
What the hell was his name?
Emilio Pascual.
Camilio Pascual.
Yeah, he had a great curveball.
Right?
Yeah, he was tough. I mean, I got my hits, here and there off these guys, but overall, they were tough. Now, of course, the Hall of Famers like Gosger and those guys were really tough.
Really?
Yeah. And Rollie Fingers, boy, he had not only a high 90 fastball, but a curveball that, like Nolan Ryan, he threw at you and was a 3/4 and came down. It was like, How
about Dick Raditz?
Well, I didn't really face him. He was a teammate of mine.
Something though. Dick Raditz only had probably three good seasons.
Yeah.
Right, but he could throw
Great
BBs.
seasons.
He threw BBs.
Great season. So Yankees, I had pretty good luck. With
the famous Rico Petrocelli. It's become folklore.
Oh, come on!
It's become folklore in Boston radio history. Boston radio history.
Oh, Dennis Eckersley. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Right. But do you know the Dennis Eckersley, Rico Petrocelli story, John?
No.
Oh, God. I'll never forget this as long as I live. I was driving in the car. This became, seriously.
Raditz was on
This
there, too.
became the most famous 5-minute segment in the history of Boston sports talk radio. And that's the truth.
Yeah, all right.
So Rico's WEEI, which is huge. Rico's in the studio with Glenn Ordway
and Dick
Raditz. And they're, Rico's co-hosting with Glenn. Dick Raditz is in as a guest. And they're talking about Dick Raditz's career and all of that good stuff. Phone, right?
And Raditz was talking about the pictures of
today,
then who got a little sore and they were out for a week and all that stuff. So, I mean, stuff like that.
So Eckersley calls in. And Dennis, he was known to imbibe a little bit.
Yeah.
At the time. And since then, I think because of that, he no longer drinks. But Eckersley calls into the studio cocked. And starts on Raditz. He was calling from his car. Starts on Raditz about, what did you ever do, in your career? Blah, 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 blah. Right?
He also said, Raditz, you said I shouldn't have won the MVP when he won the MVP Cy Young, I think.
Yeah.
And he says, boy, that's bull crap, man. And the guys of today, blah, 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 and all this.
So...
Then he said, what the hell did you ever do?
Exactly.
And I said, whoa.
Now, this you have to understand, John. All of WEEI next to WFAN has the highest ratings in the country. And this was drive time. So he starts on Raditz. So what do you think Rico does? Rico challenges Eckersley to drive to the studio right now and meet him in the parking lot.
Well,
he wanted to fight him.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
See, why are you telling the story? Why aren't I telling the story?
So what did you say to him?
I says, come on down here. If you're going to get on Raditz, face to face. Who's this? Rico. Rico. It's like, why don't you shut up? That's what I got. That was it.
So then what did you say?
I went nuts. I said, come on down here. Come on, Nick. Come on down here. Let's see if, you guys, you are better than us. Better. We're discussing just the game, and what was going on.
Right.
Well,
so anyway, then he finally hung up, and he was on. He apologized to Raditz, and he was on. I think a couple of weeks with him.
Yeah.
And they they got.
But he was a very apologetic. But the next day, it was all over the newspapers.
Oh, that was
all over the newspapers.
They soaked it up.
Petroselli challenges Eckersley to a fight on the air. That was.
Well, he should have come down.
I know.
And say, look, hey guys, you should face him face to face, and that's what I was telling him.
All right, John, I got a question regarding some bats, because I know you said the Williams bat is probably the most underrated. Is that who I think it is?
That's Mr. Gosger. He's trying to.
Hey, Jimmy.
Oh, my. Jimmy, can you hear us?
All right. There
My
he
daughter
is.
got in.
We have about 5 minutes. We've got about 5 or 6 minutes. Yeah, we can run just a couple of minutes over. Jimmy Gosger. All right, Jimmy, you have to look into the camera now. All right,
Okay.
There you go.
There it is.
Say hi to John Taube from JT Sports.
Jim, how are you? Good to see you.
I got one like that too. It's like gonna get it bronzed.
Fleet outfielder Jimmy Gosger. Jimmy, can you stay still? I'm getting seasick. There you go.
Okay. I'll try and sit still.
Jim Gosger, former
great
Red
to see
Sox
you.
player. The reason I asked Jimmy to come on is because Jimmy is doing something really nice. Jimmy gets autograph requests all the time, and people will send him in a self-addressed stamped envelope or ask him for his autograph, or at a show, ask him for his autograph. And Jimmy has one request. If you want his autograph, he'll be more than happy to give it to you, right?
Yeah.
But you got to send $5. And every single dime that Jimmy Gosger takes in on an autograph goes to the St. Jude's Hospital in Atlanta for children with cancer. So, Jimmy, I asked you to come on. Jimmy, you even mentioned to me, didn't you auction off some of your memorabilia, your jersey and stuff?
Yeah, I did, Tom. I talked to my wife before she had passed, and we had talked about this stuff. I had a couple jerseys, plus I had two of my baseball gloves. The first one I had a picture taken with Al Kaline in Detroit in 1963, and I still had the glove. It was an outfielder's glove. And 1970, when I was with the Expos, Gene Mauch asked me if I could play first base because Ron Fairley got hit in the face with a pitch against Cincinnati, I think it was. But I said, I don't have a glove. Yep. He says, I'll get you gloves. So I got that first baseman's glove. So I thought, well, I'll put these two gloves up for auction. And I put them up for 1 week. And I said, anybody that's interested. Well, I got one gentleman on my Facebook had offered me $3,000, I think, for both gloves. And up to the last minute, this friend of mine was sitting in the house here. He says, I want those gloves. He says, I'm bidding $3,150. So he ended up getting the glove.
And all the money went to St. Jude's.
And all the money went to St. Jude. I put it up on Facebook that I had sent the check for $3,150 to St. Jude. Well, the following week, I had my jerseys were hanging out at one of the bars out here. Well, the guy was selling the place. So I contacted him and I said, I'd like to get those jerseys because I want to use them in an auction. So I went out and picked them up. One was a New York Met jersey and the other one was my Red Sox jersey. And I put those up for bid. And in a week, I got, I think I got $1,300 for that.
Good
for you. That's fabulous. Wow.
I put that in the check and sent it to St. Jude.
Oh, God.
Jimmy, I'm going to give out your address, and we're going to, when the show airs, in the comments, I'll mention it. Actually, Jimmy, why don't you give us, here it is right here. All right, so if you want an autograph of Jim Gosger, $5, that's all you got to send in. Send it to his attention, and his address is 1823 7th Street, Port Huron, Michigan, 48060. 1823 7th Street, Port Huron, Michigan, 48060. Jimmy, we have a couple of minutes left.
I want to ask him.
Go ahead.
Jim, you came up to the Red Sox. Wasn't that like you didn't go to the minors? You had to come up, or did they call you up? right
No,
away.
I was playing here in Toronto, which is only 150 miles from my home here.
Yeah.
And it was almost all-star break for the major leagues, and Dick Williams was the manager. And he
Yeah.
called me in the office, and he said, I'm not going to play you tonight. And I said, Dick, I'm hitting 299. I'd like to hit 300. Can I play tonight? Just let me get 2 at bats. And he said, okay, you get 2 at bats. I didn't know what was going on, but I the first time up, I got a double. The second time up, I got a single. He takes me out of the game. Well, when I got the double on second base, Harry Wendelstedt was a great umpire in the National League, but he was in AAA at the time. And he said, congratulations, Jimmy. And I said, Harry, what are you talking about? He says, you're going to the big leagues. And I said, what? He says, you're going to the big leagues. I said, how do you know that? He says, I know. Well, after the game, Dick called him in the office. He said, you have to go to Boston. And I said, really? He says, yeah. He said, Lenny Green and who was the other one? The other outfielder.
Clinton? Not Clinton.
Both of them had got hurt. One was an ankle, one was a wrist. So I said, okay. And I was excited. So I get up to Montreal. It was just after All-Star break. And I went in the office, and manager, who the heck was it there? Shoot, I'm trying to think of who it was. Anyway,
Before Williams?
Yeah. Well,
Billy Herman. Billy Herman.
It was after Pesky.
Billy Herman.
Billy Herman, yeah.
Billy Herman.
Billy Herman, that's
Right.
who it was. I go in the office, and he said, Jimmy, welcome aboard. He says, you're my center fielder. And I said, really? He says, yep. He says, you'll be my center fielder for the rest of the year. So I played 81 games for them, hit 264, I think, and had about, I think I had, 30 runs batted in or 40 runs batted in. I was a leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I went up to bat, I was against Whitey Ford. And I, looking at Eddie Pursue, I said, Eddie, what the hell do I look for? He said, just look for the ball, Jimmy. And I said, all right. So he threw me a slider, and I hit a home run in the net in left field. And then I'm running around the bases. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I said, this is, this guy, one of the best. And I get in the dugout, and everybody's patting me on the back and everything. But that was one thrill that I really enjoyed.
That's great.
I just loved Boston.
Jimmy, before we end, your thoughts on Rico Petrocelli?
Oh, we came up together. I mean, the minors.
Yeah, we broke in together. We started at Winston-Salem, both Rico and I.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'll tell you what, a great ball player he was, and a great friend. And, he made a call to me when my wife passed away in January. And I mean, and I was in tears because, he's one of my best friends.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And, I guess it's just something that hit me, and I'll never forget it. I'll never forget stuff like that.
Well, you're special. You're a great friend, too. And we were so sorry that your wife passed. I know you had a great relationship with her. So we appreciate you and appreciate you coming on. Finally got it. Got you. You look great, man.
I'm going to say this. First of all,
I can't thank you guys.
Oh, stop.
I
don't worry about
it. Guys enough.
John Taube, your thoughts?
All right.
Don't you go anywhere, Jimmy.
Yeah, stay.
No, it's great, just listening to Jim and, retell the stories. They were great. The 60s were great days for the game,
Yeah.
It's a different game now.
It really is. And I'm looking at all this, and the whole culmination of this, which is the cherry on top of the icing, is I'm looking at my producer, and she's shedding tears because to hear Jimmy's story. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. All right.
All right, Jim.
Mr. Gosger, we're going to have you back now that you know what the hell you're doing because, quite frankly, you had us a little concerned because your knowledge of the internet is like John Taube's knowledge and Rico Petrocelli's. It doesn't exist. Thank God for your daughter.
Great to see you.
Right?
Good to see you, Jim. I'll call you. I'll give you a call.
Jimmy, we'll talk to you down the road. And John Taube,
John, thanks, John.
John, you know what you mean to us, man.
Okay, guys.
Thank you.
Great day, man.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right.
With that being said, happy collecting.
Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.